podcast. Now these Rubber Boots podcast. We wanna thank you for listening. We're sure you never thought we'd last. Oh no. We're gonna talk nothing, very little sports with your host Jimmy, Young James. And now you know for sure that it's gonna be a blast. It's gonna be a blast. Oh yes, this is the podcast.
We were not canceled. We were not canceled.
At least none of us. I wasn't canceled. Were you canceled, Stoff?
There was, let's
present.
see. Stoff is here. Lester's here. We're back in studio. And not suspended.
Yep.
Not fired. Not even...
reprimanded.
reprimanded.
Okay.
Puffy. Still with the Rubber Boots podcast team. How are you, Puff?
I'm pretty good. How about yourself?
I'm well, thank you.
You seem remarkably well-spoken.
Yes.
A lot of feedback. To the Masters episode of the pod. By the way, terrific job on the Lester and Stoff. No, not just on that.
Oh.
But the Lester and Stoff, they did a show last week. I wasn't even aware of it.
I did not know that
a few
either.
minutes ago. They did the Lester and Stoff show.
Lester and
the
Stoff
spin-off.
Yep.
The first
Stoff,
successful
very popular
spin-off to the Rubber Boots. What would be, we could do all sorts of spin-offs now that we're as crazy popular as we are.
Yes.
What would be besides Lester and Stoff, what other spin-offs could we have?
Number one for me, and of course pending contract negotiations, is Rod Smith Baby.
How are those fries, Susan?
Yes.
Rod Smith Baby, a show by himself.
Yes. Can you imagine?
Emilio could have a show down on Azteca.
It's Mr. Rod Smith Baby.
What we could expand, we could have Scott Reynolds and his trumpet. A trumpet boy in Berlin or something.
Wow.
Yes.
We're going to hear from him.
Germany.
We're going to hear from him
he's around.
later on the podcast.
That's great.
You could have a Coping with Laura Cope,
Yes.
like a talk show
She's also
where
in
she
Germany.
gives advice. She is in Germany. I wonder if
Yes.
they've hooked up.
Is
Yeah,
that
would
right?
Be
eh?
amazing.
Wouldn't that be
That'd
something?
be the first. We'd be like Tinder.
Could we have a pod baby?
Wow. That's a spinoff.
You imagine
Our first pod baby.
Pod baby.
No, God.
We'd be so excited. Would we get
Will
to
we
name
be
him?
in there during the labor?
Yes.
Oh, I thought
doing
you
a
were
live
saying.
pod?
I thought you meant.
Not during the baby making.
We're
process.
watching.
No.
Go.
Although something tells me Scott wouldn't mind.
I think
Probably
Scott.
not.
I think Scott would be okay with that.
We'd have the baby at Weimara this fall. We're like, damn it!
Can't have a baby in the fifth bedroom, can we?
No,
The
definitely
fifth
not.
bedroom contest is now just another couple.
I don't think the baby would have to be about 4 months premature. How many months are we away from Weimar? May, June, July, August, September. 6 months.
6
Okay,
months.
That'd be an early
that's
child.
not how babies are done anymore, is it?
Sometimes.
Back in the old days.
What other spin-offs could we have? We could have the missing intern with Zach Phillips.
Good thing we wasted 3 years on the internship.
Again, not
come up with Zach.
Again, not his fault. My fault. He's written me about 4 emails.
Okay.
Still got to have Zach in before the end of the year. What was the best spin-off ever of a TV show? They don't do spin-offs anymore.
They used to do them all the time.
was that?
Joey.
Joey was the only spin-off from Friends.
From Friends, correct.
Frasier was
Yeah,
the best.
actually,
That was a
Frasier
pretty
would be
popular
but
one, yeah.
You know
Off
what?
of Cheers.
Yeah.
But I would also All in the Family and the Jeffersons as well.
I would say
Really?
The Jeffersons probably the best spin-off ever.
Yeah.
What about Better Call Saul?
Very good. Better Call Saul. Mork
Breaking
and Mindy
Bad.
was a spin-off of Happy Days.
Happy Days,
Really?
correct.
Mork,
And-
how desperate were the writers on Happy Days that they just decided to bring in this Mork from Ork character, an alien who just showed up and
A lot
talked?
of weed
Did
smoking
he talk
back
to the
in the days.
Fonz?
yeah, he
It
talked
must
to
have been. The
Fonz.
Fonz tended to be involved in these
Elizabeth.
things. But there was also Joni Love Chachi.
Joni Loves
from
Joey
that
Loves
show.
Chachi and Laverne and Shirley.
Yeah, wow, what a show.
Yeah.
Happy Days.
But lately, they don't seem to do that much anymore.
No.
Like
Game of
babies
Thrones is going to, they do like prequels and stuff like
Game
that.
of Thrones is going to have multiple spin-offs.
Yeah.
There's also a porn version of Game of Thrones, Game of Bones. Just kidding.
Game of Bones.
You ever watch Baywatch Nights?
No, what the hell is that?
Well, the spin-off of Baywatch was Baywatch Nights. I think it was Hasselhoff, but it was like just basically this. the Baywatch people at night.
Yeah.
But there were vampires and things.
What?
Seriously?
I'm not kidding.
That's insane.
No. I did enjoy a good Baywatch back in the day.
They tried to do.
Yes, I think we all did.
many.
Remember Saved by the Bell, the college years?
Yeah, they did have that.
Of
Yeah.
course, Puff was in that. Sorry, we got sidetracked from.
We always get
That's
sidetracked.
We buried the lead, which of course was our very popular. A lot of popular. It's crazy. Puff can be drunk, and I want to clarify one thing because
You're not going to tell me he wasn't drunk.
No, I'm just going to say we were not all drunk. Like a lot of people are saying, you got a bunch of drunks.
Yeah.
No.
There was one. We got one. Most people glowing reviews of the Masters podcast. They love Puffy's performance. One guy. I was one of my people let me know that there was a 1-star review, and it said, "You guys have lost your way." So he has replaced Bright Eyed Dougie.
That is
As our
fantastic.
guy.
That's
two
pretty
people
messed
out
up.
there.
So
That's pretty.
whoever you are, buddy, I hope to win you back. We were all sober mostly. We had a couple of beers, except Puff. I don't know what happened. Here was the mistake we made. Just to take you back to that night. We always do the Masters pod on Tuesdays. So Tuesday is also the night of the Golf Canada barbecue, where we show up, but we have a steak, we have a few beers.
Nice.
And so we usually do the pod before the barbecue. But I think we were running late that day, late back from the golf course.
Yeah.
And so we waited till after the Masters barbecue to do the pod, which
Yes.
gave Puff about a 2.5, 3-hour window.
Yes, to start my night.
And then Mr. Wolf, Nicole,
Yes.
did buy him a bottle of that champagne. What was it called again?
Cupcake champagne.
Cupcake champagne.
The finest you can find in the vineyards of Jersey.
Right. I understand that on the Stoff and Lester spin-off podcast,
Yes.
Stoff did compile, because we're not having that bastard Rod Smith back after he narrated the entire podcast last week.
Yes, he did do a good job.
Actually, he didn't. What Stoff did is cut that from all other pods.
No, the
Very much so.
The contract dispute with Rod continues. It's going to be resolved at some point, we hope, in the next couple of months. But so it's just an all Puffy recap of the Masters pod.
We've started.
Everyone knows that there's a little bit extra stuff happens this week. It's Augusta National. It's the best course in the world. Give it some respect.
Needs more champagne.
More champagne. A green jacket. That's all you need. A green jacket. One of my best friends is a last name Ho. You see some. Who am I going low with on a Thursday? Because you want to go low with someone on a Thursday. You don't want to be alone. PlayStation Hearn. Choking dog. Delilah. Delilah. Champagne. And I get some yarn at Delilah.
This song is Lola. Lola.
We ruined a good segment.
No, this was a good segment.
Good segment.
This course? You want to do the second course?
I hate myself. I'd like to apologize to the Queen.
Oh my God!
There's a lot there.
Just a lot in there.
How much of that do you remember?
Oh, I remember everything. Yeah, I was gonna say I wasn't that drunk.
Out of curiosity,
I was
0 being not drunk and 10 being the drunkest you've ever been. Where was that?
Probably about a 7.5.
There's room for improvement.
I have
Nice.
seen him worse.
Yeah, I've been
There's
worse.
an audio tape that exists from a Stanley Cup final.
Yeah.
A cab ride home from a bar at the Stanley Cup final that was Puffy on an 11 scale out of 10. A lot of people ask me what Puffy did say about the Queen. That's why it was beeped out.
Yes. That's just between me and the Queen.
As it always
We're
will
working
be.
through it.
It wasn't
But
happy
anyway.
birthday.
I had even notes from some of the higher ups at TSN that said they enjoyed your performance on
Oh,
the
that's
podcast.
nice.
So
That's
it's good to know. It was a fantastic week. I think when we left you last, it was only Tuesday on the pod. We got to watch Tiger win, which
was unbelievable.
Nobody was happier than Puff.
Yes, I was pretty excited.
So one of the things I always talk about the Masters, one of the drags, I guess, I love. It's one of my favorite weeks of the year, but you can never watch the actual end of the tournament. Everybody says, were you on 18 when Tiger tapped in? No. You were.
I was, yeah.
Puffy was. We were on set because we had to get stuff taped right away. We had a whole pre-show, post-show to do. We had to be live in the Sports Center. So we have to be sitting on set. So I can never watch the last few holes. Puffy was you, and who are you up
Me
there?
and Nicole.
Yeah?
Me and Nicole went up.
Did you actually get up there?
We got up to 18. We were kind of near, where the scoreboard is on 18. Mm-hmm. So we were a little bit close between there and the green.
Right. Could you see him?
So we could see we saw him walking up.
Right.
And then we saw his third shot where he chipped it on.
Right.
And then we couldn't see the putts, though.
There must have been 10.
But there was a guy who was he got on someone's shoulders. Right beside me. And he was doing play-by-play.
Oh.
And it was pretty cool. He was like, he's stepping over his putt.
So Puffy and I, we went out and watched Tiger for a little bit early on at the end of his front nine, and he had an incredible 2-putt on 9, which was a great par. And then we went to kind of the walk area where Tiger, walks by from 9 to 10, which you probably saw on TV.
Yeah.
And I have to say, the electricity there was ridiculous. You got middle-aged men and women, everybody everyone's just freaking out, right? Because they know they have a chance to witness history here.
Of course.
And we're broadcasters, supposed to be professional journalists. So, but Puff is a massive Tiger fan.
Yeah.
And so we're right up at the ropes, and Tiger walks by. Just give us what you said.
I said, "Keep grinding, Tiger.
Keep grinding, Tiger. You got this." Puff. We're broadcasting the tournament.
Oh, God.
But no,
better for ratings, James.
Yeah,
better
it
for
was.
ratings.
If I may ask a question about the Masters. Now, so how many Masters combined? How many guys? Well, not combined. How many guys?
Puff's done more than I have. I think I've
like
done
17 around there.
17?
I'm only
17.
6 or 7.
You're only 6. Okay, so to each of you, where does this Tiger win rank for you as far as Masters?
Oh, I would go beyond that, Lester. People have been asking me this week where it ranks all time for me. And I have trouble thinking of the gold medal game at the Olympics in 2010 is always my answer. I don't know that there's too many others that this would be below.
Really? Okay.
Again, it's different if you're there. That's the one thing about being at a hockey, basketball, anything with an arena when you're seeing it. Whereas this, when Tiger putted in at 18, when he just missed at 16, I was watching on television like everybody else. But just to be there, and even on our sets, only a couple of 100 yards away, so you hear the roars and everything. So I'd historically, I think it's probably number 2 for me.
Wow. Well, I was at Mike Weir when he won it.
Okay, 2003.
So that would be ahead of this one, just because it was pretty cool to see the Canadian win. But that's the third time I've seen Tiger win, and for me, that was the best one for sure.
Wow.
It'd probably be second for Masters.
Okay.
Well, that's got, if you forget the Canadian factor, that's probably the most memorable Masters. Maybe when Jack won in '86.
I think this might even be higher than that one.
I think historically, it probably will be. One other thing that happened after the Masters was over. I think it's going to be our second annual Jimmy getting out of Augusta early, A-hole or A-OK.
Is it A-hole or is it A-OK?
Refresher, last year I abandoned Puffy and Bob Weeks and Bump.
Yeah, at the Atlanta airport.
At the airport to take an earlier flight home.
Yeah, we were there for about 9,
there was
10 hours.
only one seat left, and they gave it to me.
Yes, they didn't even ask us. It wasn't even like we flipped for it.
So this year, one of the duties we have, Weeksy and I, the on-air people, not the irrelevant producers, just the on-air, the talent.
Yes, it's true.
Bump.
So we have to go to dinner with a bunch of the clients.
Okay, yes.
Our beloved president, Stu, flies down and brings a bunch of clients down to the Masters every year. Very cool thing. So we were at the dinner on the Saturday night, and Stu was making arrangements because the tournament was moved to the morning to have the plane. They had a chartered plane to fly home at 4 p.m. after the Masters. And I was sitting there with my glass of vino, going, "Oh, so you guys are flying home right after, eh? Huh. I wonder if I could get on that plane." So, bottom line, and there's an extenuating circumstance here I'll add after, but I want you guys to judge it just on the facts. Got Weeksy on as well. Tournament ends. Tiger taps in. Tape a half-hour post-show. Go live into Sports Center. Thunderstorms are arriving. They blow us off the course. Mr. Wolf, Nicole, picks us up, drives us to the airport where another van is waiting. I get into the van, Andrew King, Stu, all the clients are there. I get handed a beer as I walk into the van. The van pulls onto the tarmac. You do like a 1-minute security check. They don't even take your beer away.
That's amazing.
You're on the plane.
Are the seats first class?
There was first class, and then there was a normal plane. So there was first class, but we were all in first class. Like Natasha was on the plane.
Oh, yeah?
She comes down with some other corporate folks that she was in the back.
Man.
And
free wedges?
So the TSN, so the TSN people,
TSN folks and the clients, all
on the front.
Wow.
Home in my house, in my sweatpants, 7 p.m. Masters Sunday.
Yeah,
that's unbelievable.
Usually they're still on the course.
It's not even done yet.
Yeah.
Usually around 7 p.m. They're just handing out the jacket.
Well, you have to. Of course, you haven't. They moved the day up because of
the weather.
So that's
the weather
another factor.
never really hit.
No, it didn't.
Because we drove to Atlanta that night and we were in our hotels by 7 o'clock.
So a-hole or a-okay, I take the spot on the plane. I get Weeksy on the plane. Leave the crew who didn't get home till 24 hours later.
Yes.
Stuff.
Oh, was that your answer?
Oh no, that's when we got home.
Oh, okay.
I'm gonna say A-okay. It's not like you took anybody else's spot.
Good point.
I think it's A-okay too, and I'll say it for a couple reasons. Number one, what a great experience for you as an individual and Weeksy to have that, right? To have the private jet thing. Other thing, if you look at it from the TSN perspective overall, you've done a great service to the clients.
Wow, you get the James Duthie experience.
Exactly.
How much is that worth?
Were you on the plane drinking and singing? That's how most first class.
I think if I was a client, I think I'd be thrilled that you.
Don't you think the clients would have rather had podcast Puffy than me on the plane?
I am 1,000,000,000% sure.
That's why I would say I'm an a-hole.
I think that flight would have got grounded pretty quickly.
I'm voting a-hole on myself. The circumstance: Bob Weeks' son was in hospital, unfortunately, so we had to get him home. So I know you would have never said a-hole for that. We also had the audio tech genius. He was on, but we had to kick him off because he couldn't get his equipment ready.
Yeah, because he knew that because there's nobody who's in more of a hurry than Jimmy trying to catch a flight out of town.
I'm like, Bump, we've got to tape this now. He's like, okay, Jimmy, we got to go live in Sports Center. No, let's just do this damn thing now because I am not missing my plane for your show, Bump.
Tigers on 15, James.
We got to go, Bump. It's over.
How was the night? How was the rest of the night in Atlanta with the rest of the crew?
It's pretty good. We ended up going to the bar in Atlanta and
you went to
drinks.
A bar again?
Yeah,
okay,
I went to a bar in Atlanta and had a few, and then went back to our hotel, which was popping.
Nice.
Yeah, it was good. It was awesome. It was way better than our usual Monday morning where you got to get up at like 5 a.m. to drive to Atlanta just to make the flight.
Anyway, fantastic Masters. Thank you for everyone who listened to the special Masters pod. We'll be back in. Thank you to the folks at Cabot.
Yes.
The Cabot trip is only a couple of months away. They sponsor the pod. I'm going to mention them pretty much every pod here forward because I love them so much. And my friends at TaylorMade, who gave everybody except Puffy and Stoff and Lester fitted clubs.
So just you.
Just me. I'm the only member of this.
I hope. Stoff, let's try to get down there next year. Like, we're missing out, seriously.
Bump and Run are both honorary members of the pod, so they also count. And, so 3 of the 7 cast members.
Yes, that's true.
Oh, Laura Cope also got fitted clubs. Yeah,
Mark Ward.
Mark Ward, Zach Phillips.
Good for Laura.
Now, do we have a Bumble sponsorship yet with all the Bumbles we mentioned?
Yeah, our friend Mark Ward was down and he was active on Bumble. He's a single man again, and that was David Hearn, and really enjoyed.
Yes,
David's very happily married,
yes,
but enjoyed watching the Mark do the Bumble thing.
Vicarious
he was
living.
doing a lot of swiping left and swiping right. Did you apologize? A lot of people were concerned that you really needed to apologize to David Hearn after your because you did. What did you call him again? Now you really didn't.
I said PlayStation Hearn's a choking dog, and I won't apologize to him till he wins a tournament online.
Right. So you weren't really insulting the real David Hearn.
David Hearn is going to win a Masters.
It's just PlayStation.
He's going to hug me first before his family.
At EA Sports.
I think you said he was going to win Masters, but then you're like 2023.
It's not that far off. He's got to get a few looks at the course.
He obviously has a good sense of humor.
Now, I got a question for Puffy. Did you ever find out what the Fyre Festival reference was to? Because that was my favorite part of the pod.
Yeah. Did you know what I was talking about?
I've seen the documentary, but I don't remember what you're talking about right now.
When you said you were going to go rescue the beer from the border.
And take 800 of them for the team.
And I said, are you going to take one for the team? And he said, yeah, I'll take 800 for the team.
That went right over my head, yeah.
Do you know what I'm talking about?
Well, there's a thing on the documentary where the guy says,
yes,
I'm going to take one for the team.
And you know what he's referring to.
If you will go down and suck Cunningham's, who's the head of customs, and get him to clear all of the containers with water, you will save this festival. And I got into my car to drive across the island to take one for the team.
Oh, did you miss that scene? It's kind of the most memorable thing from the Fyre doc. So I'm sitting here going, you're like, I'm going to the border. I'm going to get that booze. And I'm like, you're going to take one for the team? Yeah, I'll take 800 for the team. I just kind of let it slide because I thought.
Why would you let that slide?
Because I just didn't understand. And
I stand by my comment.
There was a lot going on, too.
You're a team player, Puffy.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
We got to get that booze into the country.
Hey, you know what we need to do? We need to have a playoff chat. Let's do our playoff update brought to you by idrinkcoffee.com.
Middle of the morning, can't keep my eyes open because I got to have a cup of jabber. I said I got to have a cup of jabber. So better log on to idrinkcoffee.com.
idrinkcoffee.com.
Before I forget, because this kind of ties into the Masters and our playoffs, because we've been live on location at the Toronto Maple Leaf games a few times. I've had a lot of feedback on Twitter as to whether I hold my notes in a specific location to cover my crotch.
You do.
Yes, and that is confirmed. I do. Often the notes, the paper that I have,
is not big enough.
No. That's why I have the full length.
That's the legal.
This is the 8x14, the
legal.
So often there's not even notes on the paper.
Yes.
I just need, because we had an incident back in 2006. I think it was Bob and I, and who would have been the third panelist back then? McGuire?
I was going to say McGuire.
McGuire?
Yeah, it would have been
That makes
McGuire,
sense.
yeah.
McGuire, maybe Dregs. No, Dregs would have been
Dregs
with
would have
us.
been there. Would have been McGuire.
And we all had the big, what do they call it with the guy? Is it
camel toe?
camel toe, moose knuckle, camel toe, elephant
bulge?
I'm pretty sure it's a moose knuckle.
Okay. And it was really bad. And so I've been very aware of that. And the golf pants are worse than the suit pants, I find. The golf pants will
really knuckle
accentuate. It'll knuckle it up really good. And so I place a paper carefully in front of my
Once
package.
a show, though, you should just sort of slide it out just to give
Well,
people
sometimes
a
it gets a
peek.
little, I raise it up a little bit too high.
Yeah, it'll tease it.
Stick it right back down.
Like Sharon Stone, but the opposite.
You mean I should do it once where everything's just hanging out?
Yeah, like
just pull the whole
old leg cross thing.
pull
but
the
you
whole
just-
package out. Can you imagine that?
And you just say, my balls was hot.
So I have the piece of paper, but everything's there, and I just reveal like a little sliver.
Little sliver balls.
Oh, good Lord. So anyway, that's just a little factoid.
Yeah, let the people behind
Fun
the curtain.
fact. Fun fact. If you're watching our panels when we're live on location, I will usually have a piece of paper over my crotch.
Yes.
Yeah, there you go. Knowledge. So here we are taping this. It's unfortunate. We almost should have been taping this Thursday just to have the first round completely.
Yes.
Doesn't the first round feel like it's lasted 2 months?
Does feel like
It does feel like it's a long time, but it really hasn't been that long.
I feel like the Leafs have been playing the Bruins for 6 years.
Yes, I know. Everyone will be listening to this will already know if the Leafs or Bruins have won. So why don't you do your prediction, and then we're not going to let Stoff edit it correctly. Yes. And don't wear your heart on your sleeve. Everybody will know now.
Yes.
We're hours before the game. Yes. What's your gut?
I already am nervous right now.
What's your gut?
The Leafs are going to win.
Okay.
They're
and
going
who
to
is
win.
going to be the hero?
Austin Matthews is going to have his Doug Gilmour against St. Louis moment.
Boom.
And we are going to beat the Bruins.
Ooh.
Wow.
Lester?
I called the Leafs to win this series before. I stand by that call. Who's going to be the hero? I think that John Tavares is going to be the breakthrough guy tonight.
Leafs 4-1, and they hold the lead.
It's funny. I thought I'd have some contrarians in here, but I've had a gut. From 2 months ago, I thought they were going to win. Even when they looked like shite and the Bruins were looking great. I just feel like, and if anything, this year is It's the upside down Stranger Things upside down world, right, of the playoffs. Now, having said that, now that we've all said it, they'll probably
I really thought they were going to win on Sunday.
Well, I thought they were going to win Sunday too.
When Riley scored, I'm like, here it comes. We're going to blow them out.
I was revisiting our prop bets.
Oh, we did those.
We did some prop bets, and maybe again this should wait till after round 1 is officially complete. It was very confusing. Puffy took Leicester took Tampa and Winnipeg. I had the field. That was 2-1.
Jesus.
So you owe me $20.
Wow.
Then I gave you guys Pittsburgh, Toronto, Nashville, San Jose, and Calgary. And Leicester and Stoff took that at 3-1. So depending on the outcome tonight, you may be down to no one.
These are some of the worst bets ever.
So you guys will owe me more, $20 each. Or Toronto, you could have Toronto and San Jose. And then the other one was, everybody took this one, except Leicester. All 4 wild cards plus 2 other teams. So that's a real good bet. That's a good bet. The 2 other teams you took, Puff, were Pittsburgh and Calgary. So that was useless. Stoff took Boston and Winnipeg. So he could have Boston and the 4 wild cards. All 4 wild cards are alive, right?
Colorado is. Columbus is.
Dallas.
Carolina's alive, and Dallas won.
If Carolina won. Wouldn't that be something? So basically...
A bit of a bloodletting, though, for great cities for us to go to for the final.
Yeah, it's hurtful.
Could be St. Louis,
What are we cheering for now, Puff?
In the West, I think we might be cheering for
Vegas still. No,
Vegas for sure.
Yeah,
Vegas for sure.
If Vegas is out by the time people listen to this,
then it's Colorado or Dallas.
Dallas is a good town. We haven't been to Dallas in a while.
But San Jose, you don't like San Jose?
It's nice weather, but not a lot going on down there. We did, and the travel's a bit of a pain in the ass.
You got to fly to San Fran.
A lot of people are talking about Columbus as a very underrated town.
Yeah, maybe.
We'd be in Manhattan if the Islanders won because they'd be playing in Brooklyn.
Yeah, so that would be good.
Washington, I feel like we didn't really get to explore properly last year.
Yeah, maybe if we had better days there.
Toronto, Ontario.
Be good for the family life.
That's the one I want. That way, me and Lester can just drive down to your hotel and do the pod there.
We'll do the pod.
Would we get hotels in Toronto?
You would for sure.
I don't know.
I don't know if they would go as
actually
deep
Toronto.
as
I could actually get in more golf if Toronto was in the cup.
True. And Carolina, I don't want to go to Carolina.
I don't know. Yeah, it was a long. 2006 was that was the one year the cup was won. We did now, mind you, we do our hits. It takes an hour or something. We went downtown Raleigh.
Yes.
Could not find a bar open downtown Raleigh 2 hours after the cup had been won.
That's crazy.
Nobody on the streets.
No, jeez. That's awful.
No bars open.
That's awful.
Yeah.
That's unbelievable. No offense. Very good fans in the building.
Yes.
Same as when Anaheim won. They just all leave. Everybody just goes home.
Wow. When it's
over. I know. It's crazy.
That's insane.
Yeah. Anyway, we'll revisit the prop bets a little bit later on. Or maybe next week, now that we have round 2, we can start all over again with all these freshies. Because now it's a wide open. It's a free-for-all.
Yes.
It's
crazy.
Insanely open.
Things that I saw on the Twitter.
Freaky pigs, strange chicks, world affairs, polar bears, fake news, nice shoes, big boobs, jack dudes. All of these things and more as I sat on the shitter. Things that I saw on Twitter.
Things that I saw on Twitter is brought to you by our friends at Untucked. I forgot the Untucked read, so I'm going to go Untucked. Maybe I should make up my own read.
Yeah.
Untucked. The shirt that you're wearing today, Puffy, is an embarrassment. No. It's like halfway between a sweatshirt and a t-shirt. Is it tucked in? Stand up.
It's not tucked in.
It's not tucked in.
Okay.
It's not too bad.
No.
But it's not an Untucked.
No, it certainly is not.
And I've seen a lot of embarrassing idiots lately with their dress shirts untucked and it's down halfway past their crotch. That's not the way to cover your crotch.
Hell
you want to
no.
cover your crotch, you use a little paper like Jimmy does when he's on television.
Or
right?
a big paper. Big paper.
Or a big paper like Lester
A little
uses.
paper's also fine if that's all you need.
Don't untuck your shirts. Don't shirt with your pants and pants with your
shirt.
What is it?
Pants don't cover your pants.
Don't cover your pants with your shirt or your shirt with your pants. Untuck it.
Yes.
Sherway Gardens.
Best damn shirts out there.
And best in-store service ever.
In arena
Cool, relaxed,
especially in Pittsburgh.
Visit the store in Pittsburgh or visit the one in Sherway
Gardens.
Gardens. We better give them the theme at the end, but we'll do things that I saw on Twitter. Lester sent in one. I saw this too. I don't know if the audio's fantastic. Maybe Stoff can play a little bit, but coming off the Easter weekend, the Easter Bunny got in a fight.
Yeah, the Easter Bunny breaking up fights. Yeah.
Easter Bunny, get down!
That was a little bit traumatic.
That's Florida for you, though.
That was down in
Orlando
Florida?
specifically, yes.
There's a lot of, at Christmas time, there was a video of a bunch of Santas getting in a brawl. And now, and now the Easter Bunny just pounding the crap out of some guy on the street.
How embarrassing is that? Did you get your ass whipped by the Easter Bunny?
Seriously. Guy's a loser.
Like he listen, we'll put it up, but he just pounded
That
on
was
this
a big
guy.
bunny, though.
What do you think set that off?
I don't know,
Probably alcohol.
Oh, yeah, 100%.
Like it was clearly outside of a bar, and I don't know what the Easter Bunny was there for
well,
kicks.
he's probably, day off. He'd done all his stuff early. He kind of tied one on.
Hey, buddy, I want some eggs. Give me some chocolate.
Easter good in your house still? The kids get excited about the egg hunt?
We did the hunt at Hunt. They're getting a little. They're older.
Yeah,
but they still get into it.
Does anybody cry?
No.
Easter was dark in my house because we had a trend of about 9 straight years where someone ended up crying.
Why?
Because they weren't happy with the outcome of the egg hunt.
Oh no, we do it.
Sister
very
got more,
fair.
and
We
my
do it
kids
very
usually
fair.
aren't sucky, but when it comes to Easter egg hunts, they're sucky.
Now, what kind of eggs did you give them?
I would buy the plastic eggs and put the chocolate
That's
inside
what,
them. Now tell me, and anybody here, my parents when I was young, they did hard boiled eggs.
Oh,
and we would sometimes find one like 6 months later in the couch.
Jeez, that wouldn't have gone well.
But they hand paint, like my mom would hand paint the Easter eggs
Really?
on Saturday night and then give them to the bunny who would hide them.
See, we would do that too, but we never hit the eggs. It was just
Right.
like a decoration thing.
But I loved hard-boiled eggs back then as a child, and so it was a big, and we'd get a chocolate bunny too, but I would eat those eggs for about 3 weeks. How long can a
that's-
hard-boiled egg last for?
I think a day.
Think about 3 weeks.
Yeah.
God love
3
my parents,
weeks?
but they'll keep things like, even now I'll go up to my cottage, my beloved mother.
Yes.
She'll have yogurt from like the 80s.
Oh, yeah, my parents don't think stuff expires
No,
either.
they
Yeah.
anything. If it's in the fridge, it's good forever.
Like I'm on the opposite. Like a day before it expires, I'm tossing it.
Oh, Brooksy, if it's like 2 weeks before, like I'll open an almond milk, she'll
Yeah.
be like, the next day, this is no good. I'm like, Brooksy, the date says June 2020, and I just opened it. Yeah, but it's been open. It's been exposed to the air now. We better get new organic ones. Damn you, Brooksy.
I guess that's what I'm saying, Brooksy. You get that through your head?
He's the best.
Brooksy said to me the other day as I was going to the Leafs game, if they win, is it over? I said, yep. She said, the whole thing? I said, no, just round one, Brooksy. There's 3 more rounds to go. God love Brooksy. The other thing Stoff sent in was an Argentinian soccer star got a tattoo of what do you call it? What's
Is
the
it
word?
a barcode? It's not a barcode. It's
What's
a,
the word, Stoff?
I do
Like
not
one of those
recall-
squares.
Yeah, one of the squares you scan with your phone and it takes you to a certain link or website.
Right. So, it's a fan. It wasn't a player.
Yes.
So, a big Argentinian soccer fan got a QR link is what
Yes.
the term you have.
Yes.
So, one of those scan things, he got a big ass tattoo.
Like a barcode?
Well, those square ones, those square ones. You see them all the time.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Right. And so you actually, if you scanned it with your phone, it would take you to a YouTube link of Argentinian soccer highlights.
Really?
Yes. Now the
It
problem
was actually a goal in particular, I think, where his team beat their biggest rivals
Yes.
to win
Right.
a championship. And
problem was the YouTubers they heard about this, and I guess they were getting enough people complained for some reason, copyright infringement. They took the video down. So now his tattooed barcode leads to nothing.
Oh, that poor sucker.
I think. Look, here's the
frickin'
thing.
mean.
What is going on in your life that you have to complain about this guy's tattoos to
That's
the point where you
people,
take
man.
it
They
down?
complain about
Well,
everything.
here's my theory. If it was a goal against their rivals, and in Argentina, they love their soccer like
Yeah.
a
Of
course.
religion, I could see the other team's fans catching wind of this online and deciding to shut it down.
Yeah, that's all right. Yeah, that's pretty good then.
Yeah,
That's
well,
controlling.
That's a dumb. That's like those guys that tattoo like world champs before the World Series or whatever, and then their
hold on
team
a second.
loses. Puffy holding his shoulder.
why you were
What's
saying-
that Game 7 tattoo there?
I have Leafs Cup winners 20, and then just gonna wait to fill it.
We're
in.
getting kicked. What's the deal with us getting kicked out of our studio all the time? Do they already know it's the Rubber Boots podcast with starring Puffy, who's world famous now with his drunken tangents?
Yes. Yeah, I don't know.
We're getting kicked out by radio, and how long do we got?
2 minutes? 3 minutes?
2 minutes. So should we do the last segment? Should we go retro to the Masters pod and do it on my phone out in the parking lot?
Yes, we can. Sure.
Can you play this? Play the Untucked theme.
The moment I saw her, I knew it was on. Her eyes danced just as much as her smile. She looked me up and down and studied my every move. And as she drew near enough, she said, I like your shirt. And I said, thank you, babe. It's an Untucked. Untucked. Cool, relaxed, comfortable.
Before we go, our Berlin correspondent, Scott Reynolds, who is going to, we believe, make a baby with Laura Cope.
Yes.
Have we finished that?
Yes.
Nice. He sent us a note. He's working on something. He's working on apparently some sort of German song.
Okay.
But in the meantime, he sent kind of a report, a podcast report.
Okay.
But also a review of the podcast.
Oh.
Hey guys, Scott here. Just wanted to check in with a few thoughts from Berlin. No music this time. I'm trying to be careful and make sure that Lester doesn't feel too threatened by my obviously superior talent. And before you try to come back at me on that one, Lester, let me just remind you that my New Year's Eve gig this past year, I was playing Beethoven's Ninth Symphony in the Berlin Philharmonie, possibly the single most prestigious concert hall on the planet, and not doing 70s covers in a bowling alley in Aurelia or whatever it is that you do. So moving right along, I thought I'd go over a couple of the regular segments you guys do on the podcast. So let's start out with the week that was. Biggest event of my week, I have to say, is that I got a hand lotion for the first time in my life. And I can definitely say that that is a game changer for me. I was never a big fan of hand but I'm starting to see the appeal, you know. It's relaxing, and what's really nice is that it takes all the pressure off of your to do anything impressive. Because it's not like my situation is a problem or anything like that, but I always say that my is a lot like wearing a blue suit to a funeral. It's not that bad, but everybody knows that a black one would have been better. So let's move on now to what you watching. Mostly clown porn. I don't know if you guys are familiar, but you probably know what a clown car is. You know, it's one of those cars that looks like it only fits one clown, but then somehow it's able to fit a large number of clowns. You probably can see where I'm going with this. Let's move on to A-hole or A-OK here. I'm going to say giving somebody a hand without lotion, A-hole. So feel free to discuss that amongst yourselves. So I'll leave it there for this week, guys. Last thing I wanted to mention is that I am going to be spending a few days in Minsk over the Easter break. So if you don't hear from me for a little while, maybe get in touch with the Canadian Embassy in Belarus on my behalf, because they have some very, very strict drug laws there, and while I am planning on spending part of my trip in handcuffs, I'm hoping it's only the fun kind. For TSN in Berlin, I'm Mark Masters.
That was a Berlin correspondent, Scott Reynolds. I think it's fitting because after your performance of a couple of weeks ago, he's ruder.
Yes, he's even worse than I am.
More arrogant.
Yes, very arrogant.
And he's the best damn Berlin correspondent we've ever had. So we were kicked out of our studio now because of those radio douchebags doing their shows
for Game 7.
And so we're just in a little closet for the little Game 7 thing tonight. Hey, look, everybody!
Matthew! What a pleasant surprise!
So Matt Cauz from TSN Radio, he is a connoisseur. He's a schmalier. What do they call it? Schmalier. A schmalier.
How dare you demean me like that?
So Matt, I was just telling Matt about Puffy's cupcake champagne.
Yeah.
And he had some advice for Puffy.
Yeah, get off the cupcake stuff. Probably a little bit too much sugar. If you want a really good sparkling that's under $20, it's called Cremant. CREMANT. You can find it at any LCBO. There's good stuff around $19.95. CREMANT. And in under 20 seconds, it's basically made the same way as champagne. Maybe not aged as long, but because it's not made in Champagne, it's far cheaper because the real estate in that area of Champagne is crazy expensive.
Okay, but when you said his was high in glucose, like why did Puffy have the extra reaction that we saw at the Masters Pod?
That was going to be like a very mass-produced sort of wine. And Cremant, what they do is they'll probably be a little bit more residual sugar, some extra like added yeast and chemicals, basically make it sweeter so that anyone would enjoy it, especially earlier on. So you throw all that in there together, and that's going to get you drunker and get you a bit of a sugar high.
It could have also been the 8 shots of tequila I had.
Well, that information was not told to me until just...
Go do your radio show. That's Matt Cauz, radio star. He does multiple podcasts as well. That was helpful information.
Very good. Cremant.
Bastard kicking us out of our studio. We're in a closet now. It's old school though. Doesn't it have don't you feel this is more street when we do it this way?
I love it.
Do we have anything else to talk about?
No, I think Scott Reynolds. Do you think he'll survive in
Minsk? And I don't think he'll do well. Should we address the lotion?
The lotion.
Well, it'll provide some relief for his wrist, I think.
Yeah,
no kidding. Perhaps a sensor bandage. Send some over.
It is shocking how long it took him to discover that.
Yes, indeed.
With all the experience he's had.
For a guy who seems to have been around the European world for a while, he's had chafing for a long period of time, has he not?
He is in Germany.
Anyway, we're back. We're going to be with you now throughout the playoffs. Lester is working on a new theme for a new segment. Should we give him a tease, or can you do it in here or no?
You can do it in here.
All right. So the idea is basically is that our viewer mail segment, right?
Yes,
basically.
that's right.
So a lot of times, I don't know if you noticed, but we don't have a lot of material. We don't do a lot of producing on the podcast. We just kind of show up and talk, and so we appreciate it if you guys send us in stuff. And so Lester did a little theme.
Yeah, so we're gonna do this. I need you to clap your hands.
What
are you doing?
Puffy, you're completely out of rhythm.
It's not just clap your hands whenever you want.
Yeah, what the hell are you doing?
Just let Lester clap.
1, 2. Ain't got no segment, ain't got no bit. So now we turn to you. Ask us. There you go.
There you go.
This is Puffy.
It's all in the clap.
I was just applauding.
Ask us.
Ask us.
We'll make it. Have we had it yet?
Did
you try it yet?
We've done it once before.
Is it going to last longer than Ask Serious Lester?
Well, I think it'll last a lot longer than Ask Serious Lester.
All right, we'll be back hopefully in the studio next week again. Thanks for listening to the Rubber Boots Pod. I'm glad Puffy's still with us. Lester Stoff, always with us. And thanks you for being with us. Oh, thank you to the Weimara. I forgot to do their theme today. We're 5 months away from the... should we play the Weimara theme on the way out just to give them a little bit of love? Mm-hmm. Here's the Weimara theme and then the Rubber Boots Guys song. Puffy, stop coughing. We're still doing it!
Don't wait till tomorrow. Book a villa at Weimara. The last time that I saw you, you looked like you need a vacation at Weimara.
Thanks for listening, everybody. We'll see you next week when we'll actually know who's out of the first round. And Puffy will either be heartbroken, devastated, or the happiest man in the world with a permanent erection.
Champagne Tuesdays.
Indeed.
How are ya? I got a question that I really wanna ask ya. Wait, don't hang up. I need to know, so I'm gonna try and push my luck. Are you wearing your rubber boots tonight? Are they purple, yellow, green, or black or white? Are you wearing your rubber
Rubber Boots tonight?